America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, and welcome to the August 26, 2025 regular meeting of the Jackson Township Council. Pursuant to the provision of New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting a notice of the meeting on January 28, 2025 for publication. Notice of this meeting of the Township Council has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. We'll begin with a roll call. Councilman Borelli?
Here.
Councilman Bressy?
Here.
Councilman Palmieri?
Present.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Here.
Council President Kuhn?
Here.
Also present this evening is Township Attorney Mr. McGuckin, Township Administrator Phillips, myself, Municipal Clerk Martin, and Deputy Clerk Jen Corelli. We will now hear opening comments from the Township Council, starting with Council President Kuhn.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and welcome back. We're so happy to have you back. Deputy Clerk, you did an amazing job. Thank you so much. I would like to take a moment to welcome Officer Pratt, Officer Grenchi, Officer Herrick, and Officer Ballard to the Jackson Township Police Force. We are excited to have you join us. We wish you a long, safe, and healthy career with the Jackson Police Department. You are truly joining the best of the best. We find ourselves here yet again honoring the hiring of more Jackson police officers. This year, since we've hired Director Candido, there have been more hires than I believe the department has seen in decades. As council, we have no authority over where these officers are assigned, but I must ask that some of them be assigned to our traffic safety department. As I understand it, and Chief or Director Candido, please correct me if I am wrong, the officers within the Jackson Police Department who have a mandated minimum staffing requirement are in patrol division. That being said, as far as I know, our traffic safety department does not have a single officer working on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday in any given week. My understanding is that because this department, as well as other specialized units, such as our Detective Bureau, do not have mandated minimum staffing levels, these officers also do not work weekends. Chief, I am asking that this be looked into. It is my understanding that we are already $650,000 in overtime pay year to date, and that number continues to rise. Why is that? I would like an answer when we meet next week. I also understand that we currently have a sergeant in IT who receives 7 hours of comp time per week to be available to the department. However, I do not believe this sergeant is an actual IT professional. I have met him. I've heard amazing things about him. He's gotten the town out of a jam in less than 2 hours, but I am still trying to fully understand the day-to-day operations within the police department. Additionally, I understand that traffic safety was previously received 5 hours of off-hour time to respond to contractors for approving blueprints and construction plans, but that has also come to a halt. I've requested a meeting with the chief through the proper channels, being our business administrator, and I hope to get answers within the next week, as this does fall under his purview. I will bring my findings to the council at the next council meeting. In regards to Resolution 279, 2025, I would like to give a big thank you to our Township Engineer and Recreation Committee, as we have been doing amazing things and moving swiftly and making decisions as a team and a committee. As you can see, the Camp Joy concept plan is on tonight's agenda. This committee is only 2 months old, yet we already have one park moving forward to be rejuvenated through the open space funds. This will be a park that our residents can enjoy once again, and we look forward to sharing the concept plan with you once it is completed. Thank you again to the Recreation Committee for your continued dedication and commitment. You are a great group of people to work with, and with our common goals of sharing kindness as we are able to work and get things done together. If you'd like anything to ask the Recreation Committee, any questions, you can email them at recreation_committee@jacksontownshipnewjersey.net. On our record commission, we have Sean Belinsky, Jeff Hemba, Ed Rogers, Hope Drew, Courtney, Bill, and Kerry Karks, and myself as well. Thank you so much and have a great night.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Thank you, Clerk, and welcome back. We're excited to have you back, and thank you, Deputy Clerk, for stepping in. We appreciate the great team we have here. I just want to give a quick update. I know we have a big crowd here, just keep it moving. To the Bartley Road. The county has had conversations with the governing body here with the council and the mayor's office pertaining to doing a joint project. The county is looking to upgrading and really redoing and putting in sidewalks throughout the town, throughout Ocean County. And this is a policy shift. For many, many years, Ocean County's policy was they did not do sidewalks. Now they have agreed to look into it. I think there was a meeting today with the commissioners where they were supposed to be finalizing some of the details of their policy. I haven't yet got an update, but I just wanted to give an update from our engineers who did the preliminary work of figuring out exactly what is doable and what's not doable. So I'm just going to read quickly an email, and then I'm going to move on to other items quickly. Good afternoon, all. I've attached our environmental due diligence memo and concept estimates for the installation of sidewalks on the west side of Bartley Road from Holbrook Little League to Scarlet Oak Court. Concept plans can be downloaded here. We have broken the project into two phases as summarized below. Phase one would be the installation of sidewalks on the west side of the road from Holbrook to Cedar Knoll Road. We do not anticipate any regulatory permits being required for this work, as all work is within previously disturbed and maintained public right-of-way, other than possibly permit from the Ocean County Soil Conservation District. The estimated construction costs would be about $180,000. The survey design would be about $30,000. Contingency costs would be at $47,000. The total cost with the contingency would be about $280,000. Phase two would be the installation of sidewalks in the west side of the road from Cedar Knoll to Scarlet Oak Court. The routing will cross the South Branch Matidacock River, which is a Category 1 water body with 300-foot riparian buffer, as well as wetlands and associated buffer. We have broken this down into two different phases, and it's quite lengthy, the description. If anyone reaches out, I'm more than happy to share it, but I'll save you the agony of all of. But obviously, the second phase is close to $1 million, and the township has now forwarded these surveys over to the county, and we're waiting for a response from the county because part of the conversations we had was that we would go out, we'd look at the design, but the county would be doing the installation and pay for those expenses. Additionally, I just want to take a moment and thank all of our first responders. A special shout out to our EMS and to Atsala. Yesterday, there were two instances where there was one of our fine men from our department was injured, I think on the way to an accident. So prayers with him and his family, and I'm hearing good reports so far. So our prayers continue to be with him, and prayers to the young child who Atsala did a rescue from the pool. Sounds like the last update I got this morning was the child is doing fine. So we're prayers, and we're happy to hear the good news that ended well. Also, just a special shout out and really a call for action. We are constantly looking for more volunteers to serve our boards. Sometimes it's easy to stay a status quo. Sometimes people are willing to step out of their comfort zone and learn new things. We appreciate that. I think one thing that council would like to see is a little bit of diversity on the boards and making sure we have talents from different areas. I'm happy that hopefully one of the resolutions tonight with regard to the zoning board, which is a council appointment. I know the mayor worked very hard in making sure that we have now an environmental appointment who also has fire experience. And now we're also going to be having on the zoning board someone, hopefully, if it passes, someone with fire experience. So I thank that resident for volunteering. And everyone have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Councilman Borelli?
Thank you, Clerk Martin. I want to welcome you back as well and congratulate you and Mr. Martin on the new addition to your family, and enjoy the little girl. I also want to echo Council Vice President Bernstein's comments about tragedies that were averted yesterday. I want to thank our EMS and police, and thank God the child is okay and recuperating. Also, of course, congratulations to our new police officers tonight. And also to your families as well, who sacrifice a lot as well. And I always like to say that JTP is the best, second to none in the state of New Jersey. You are in our thoughts and prayers as you keep our town safe and secure 24/7. Thank you. In addition, I just want to mention about Jackson Day. It's coming up. It's almost finally here, and will be happening hopefully on Sunday, September 14th, in our town's largest park, Johnson Memorial Park, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. I say that because we do have a rain date just in case, but hopefully we won't need it. Hopefully we'll get beautiful weather as we did last year for Jackson Day. The rain date is the following Sunday on September 21st. And we had a huge turnout last year with over 11,000 patrons. and are expecting even a bigger turnout this year with much to do from an ATV riding park for kids, a monster truck, the king of roller coasters, the king of the car photo op. There will be a drone show, bands, many vendors, and more. If you'd like to still register to be a vendor for Jackson Day, there is still time. Or if you would like to be a sponsor for Jackson Day, there's still time. You can please reach out to our great Jackson Recreation Department that helps put this together with township staff. They do a great job with organizing the event. If you would like to be a vendor or a sponsor, please reach out to Anthony Horta in our Recreation Department at ahorta@jacksontwpnj. ahorta@jacksontwpnj.net, or you can reach the rec department at 732-928-1200 at extension 1258, or you can email the rec staff at recreation@jacksontwpnj.net. Continue enjoying the summer, Jackson. Have a good evening. It's good seeing you all. Take care now.
Councilman Bressi.
Thank you. I want to just say that that was definitely good news, Councilman Bernstein. That child's doing better and need more news like that, and the job that was done was magnificent. A couple of weeks ago, the county engineer, Mark Janke, was out here, and he gave us an update on the plans. I was able to follow up with him this week, and he says it's still on schedule as he predicted, and the detour he's hoping is going to be done this week or early next week. And that detour has been really messing everybody up. The other thing, I had the privilege of going to Patriot Park for the ribbon cutting for what the county did at the park there. I was pretty impressed how they now do it, not only for the kids, but include stuff for the adults while the kids are there. It's something that you should utilize and take a look at. And really, it's a good night tonight that we're putting 4 more police officers on our rolls. Congratulations to all of you. We look forward to working with you. Be safe. Thank you for coming out.
Councilman Palmieri.
Thank you. I would just like to start by congratulating the 4 new officers being sworn in this evening, and thank you for your service. I would like to extend a huge thank you to the amazing businesses, families, and organizations who recently supported our Jackson High School cheerleaders. I want to give a shout out to some of them. Courtney from Color Me Mine, Carlos Martins from ASO Firewood, Mike from D. Pasquale Fence, Mario from Precision Tech Home Services, Linda from Bellina Nail Boutique, Vicky from Pantano Nursery, the JC Junior Foundation, the Campan and Pinho family, and Christina from Savvy Sportswear, as well as Michael, who reminds us to make every day count. Your generosity made brand new Spirit uniforms possible. A special thanks also to our cheer families, coaches, and parents for making it all happen. I just think it's amazing when a town comes together to support each other and our great athletes. So thank you to everyone. Thank you.
The next item for tonight's meeting is an update from the Department of Public Works, Mr. Sean Belinsky. Council President Kuhn?
Yes, I just have a quick question. I just asked the attorney. So prior to that, I have to read 2 things into the record. One is a resolution 269-2025, which is the resolution to amend the 2025 budget. I have to read every single line. I just want to be transparent, like every word.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what the order
So,
reported.
I mean, get a bottle of water because this is going to be a while. Whereas the local municipal budget this year, 2025, was introduced on July 22nd, 2025, and whereas the public hearing on said budget will be held on September 9th, 2025, and whereas it is desired to amend said introduced budget, now therefore is it resolved by the Jackson Township, County of Ocean, the following amendments to approve the budget for 2025. Current fund budget. Amount to be raised by a tax in support of municipal budget, local tax or municipal proposed, including reserved and uncollected taxes, $36,759,881.92 to $36,715,099 to 92 cents. Total revenue operations within the caps, $58,807,580.12 to $58,762,798.12. Administration, executive, other expenses, $91,700 to $89,300. Government body, mayor, other expenses from $5,200 to $4,500. Election salaries and wages from $6,000 to $5,000. Human resources salary and wages from $145,000 to $120,000. Assessments of taxes, other expenses, $57,024 to $40,000. Purchasing salary and wages, $22,000 going up to $61,000. Planning and zoning, other expenses, $106,900 to $91,000. Rent level boarding, other expenses, $36,050 to $15,000. Total operating item 8A within the cap, $42,289,707.78 to $42,245,633,078. Total operating, including contingencies within the cap, $42,289,707.78 to $42,245,633.78. Details, salaries and wages, other salaries and wages, $27,044,383.44 to $27,058,383.44. Other expenses, including contingencies, $15,245,324.34 to $15,188,250.34. Total general appropriations and municipal purposes with caps, $50,385,069.81 to $50,340,995.81. Total general appropriations of municipal purposes excluded from cap, $5,156,113.65, $5,156,113.65. Can I just say same to same? Did I say the same? Okay, I'm just going to say same because they're going to the same. Total general appropriations excluded from caps, $5,156,113.65, same to the rest. Subtotal general appropriations, item H120, $55,541,183.46. This one's different, $55,497,109.46. Reverse of uncollected taxes, $3,266,396.66 to $3,265,688.66. Total general appropriations, $58,807,508.12 to $58,762,798.12. Thank you for my new reading glasses, because that was hard. Thank you.
Council President, can you just explain why you have to read that into the record for a second?
It says, must read into record line by line, and I asked the attorney, and I followed directions. Thank you. I think I did amazing. I'm just going to say that was very quick. All right. Next one is Resolution 280-2025. This is to a resolution to the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appointing Ray Tremor Jr. as council member to the Jackson Township Zoning Board of Adjustments. Correct?
Yes.
Council, I just want to make sure it says
It
junior.
says
on the-
two, but she was already in the
It's
agenda.
junior.
She's
Okay,
yeah.
'cause
Oh, I'm
Ray
sorry.
Tremor-
Ray Tremor Jr.
Correct. 'cause
He
the
is
third
leaving the planning board and he's coming over to the zoning board. He sent his resignation. We received it this morning.
Perfect.
Thank you. That is it. Okay. DPW has conducted roadside litter cleanups the past week. The crews, 2 roads in the town, collected 72 bags of garbage. If you notice the rows with excessive litter, please contact DPW. Crews of department will begin the seasonal pruning, working through all zones to trim back low-hanging branches, addressing overgrowth, particularly around stop signs and other key visible areas. If you have any problems or concerns, please contact DPW. SDL update, the municipal clerk's office will be using SDL to process permits and applications. Residents will be able to apply, pay online with credit cards for the following: food, retail food, mobile food, soliciting, I almost said a different word, campground, parking permits, no-knock, kennel, mobile home, limousines, zoology, and junkyard licenses. In addition, we'll begin to process Oprah's requests through SDL starting in October. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the police department, police officers' oath of offices. Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Police department.
Police Department. Director Candido, please come up. Sorry, it's a lot. Chief, if you're coming up as well. I don't know who's going first. Okay, we're going to swear all four in at once. We have four Bibles, so once you read.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joe Candido. I'm the Public Safety Director. To my left is Chief Matthew Coons. I'd like to thank the council and the administration and the mayor for these four new hires. This will bring up our force to 113 once everybody gets out of the academy. Also, the first two officers that we're hiring tonight were Class 2 specials for us. We switched them over to full-time, so that's saving the town about $50,000 in training costs. So let's get started. Michael Pratt. Michael's a 26-year-old born in Staten Island, New York, inspired by his mother, Michelle Pratt, a retired New York City police officer and 9/11 first responder. Michael was driven to pursue a career in law enforcement and follow in her footsteps. He began his journey as a Class 1 and later a Class 2 police officer with Seaside Heights Police Department, proudly serving during 2 summer seasons. After his time in Seaside Heights, Michael continued his path in public service by joining the Jackson Township Police Department as a Class 2 officer. Passionate about fitness, paddleboarding, public interaction, and community service, Michael is also a certified scuba diver and a former high school lacrosse player. Holding his Bible tonight will be his mother, Michelle. Michael is excited to begin his full-time career with Jackson Township Police Department and looks forward to serving the community with pride and dedication. Dominic Grenchi. Dominic was born and raised in Toms River, New Jersey. He graduated from Toms River High School East in 2018 and went on to earn his associate's degree in criminal justice from Ocean County College in 2022. In 2023, Dominic began his law enforcement journey as a Class 1 officer with the Seaside Heights Police Department. He later graduated from Ocean County Police Academy with Class 53 in May of 2024 and returned to Seaside as a Class 2 officer. Due to his strong work ethic and dedication, he was invited to stay on year-round. In March of 2025, Dominic joined the Jackson Township Police Department as a Class 2 officer. Prior to joining Jackson, he served in a variety of public safety and community-focused roles, bringing with him a strong dedication to service and integrity. Since becoming part of the department, Dominic has been actively involved in patrol operations, community policing efforts, and ongoing professional development. He takes a great pride in serving the residents of Jackson and looks forward to building strong, positive relationships within the community. In his free time, Dominic enjoys the beach, fishing, going to the gym, and spending time with his fiancée, Alexa, and their daughter, Ariella, who will hold the Bible for him tonight. Matthew Herrick.
Pardon?
Matthew has grown up and spent most of his life in Jackson. He went to Elms and Getz for his primary middle school years. He then graduated from Albany Academy in Albany, New York in 2020, where he was a member and captain of the Albany Academy varsity ice hockey team. Following high school, Matthew played 2 years of junior ice hockey and moved around from Massachusetts to Maine and then settled back in New Jersey, playing for the NJ87s, where he was named captain and the team won the 21-22 league championship. After juniors, Matthew attended St. Anselm College in New Hampshire for a year with his major in social work and was on the NCAA Division II ice hockey team and helped his team to win a Northeast 10 ice hockey championship. Sophomore year, Matthew transferred to the University of Delaware, where he is completing his degree majoring in history and wildlife ecology with a minor in insect ecology. Throughout his younger life and continuing today, Matthew has always done what he can to help out his community. He's been a Manasquan Beach lifeguard for over 5 years and has been credited with numerous successful water rescues, saves, and preventative actions. Along with that, he has had hundreds of hours of community service under his belt. He helped start the Grove Club in high school that grew fruits and vegetables and was given to homeless shelters and food banks. He also goes to VA hospitals and children's hospitals, spending time with the people there, and was an active member and the Best Day Foundation, a group that takes children with special needs to the beach and helps them have great beach days surfing and swimming. And through his social work major at St. Anselm, spent a year in Manchester, New Hampshire, helping local underfunded schools and teachers with their after-school and morning care. You have free time? In his free time, Matthew loves to surf, snowboard, and actively trains, teaches, and competes in jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. He wants to give a special thanks to his mother and father who have supported him through anything he's ever done and for giving him the skills to succeed as an officer and in life.
Okay, thank you.
Joshua Bollard. Josh is a proud native of Jackson, New Jersey, where he graduated from Jackson Liberty High School in 2018. During his time at Jackson Liberty, he distinguished himself both academically and athletically, serving as a 4-year varsity wrestler, 2-year captain, and a 2-year varsity golfer. Following high school, Joshua attended East Carolina University, where he earned his bachelor's degree in sports studies with a minor in communications, graduating in 2022. After completing his degree, he returned to his alma mater to work as a substitute teacher and serve as assistant wrestling coach. This role allowed him to give back to the school and community that helped shape him, while mentoring the next generation of student athletes. Joshua looks to still be involved with the newly combined wrestling program to continue paying forward to the next generation. Josh is now pursuing a career in law enforcement, aiming to follow in his father's footsteps, Michael Bollard, by becoming a police officer with the Jackson Township Police Department. He's deeply committed to public service and is excited to make a positive impact within his hometown. In his free time, Josh enjoys staying active by playing golf, tennis, and pickleball with friends. He also values his time spent attending church on Sundays with his girlfriend, reflecting his strong sense of faith and community involvement.
Well,
Can everybody come up that's holding the Bibles for these young gentlemen?
Like hold the microphone. So we kind of get you guys in the middle there.
There, you hold that. Well, actually, you got to raise your hand. When you guys hold the microphone.
right. Left, left,
Left
left,
on the
left.
Bible.
This thing
No,
on?
left hand on the Bible.
Unless you're righty.
Thank you. Can you all please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I
I,
state your name for the record.
Michael
Matthew
Pratt,
Herrick,
Do solemnly swear
do
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I
and I
will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to
to
the
the
same
same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to
and
the
to the
governments
governments
established in the United States
and in this state
and in
and in this
this state,
state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that
and that
I
I
will
will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all the duties as a police officer
and
and justly perform all the duties as a police officer
for the Township of Jackson,
for the Township of Jackson,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Madam Clerk?
The next item on the agenda is the small business recognition. Council President Kuhn?
Thank you. We'll give it 30 seconds. Thank you. The council would like to present to CG's Bar and Grill. Congratulations for being Small Business of the Month for July 2025. Your dedication to excellence and commitment to the community exemplifies the spirit of entrepreneurship in Jackson Township. We appreciate your contributions and wish you continued success. Councilman?
Thank you, Council President. Congratulations to CG's Bar and Grill. We are proud to shine this month's spotlight on CG's Bar and Grill, a true local favorite right here in Jackson. Justin, Carol, and their team have created more than just a place to grab a meal. It's a warm and welcoming gathering spot where neighbors become friends. Congratulations to CG's on being recognized as our July Small Business Highlight. Your dedication to community and hospitality makes Jackson stronger. Thank you.
If you come up and present you with a... Madam Clerk?
Thank you. The next item of business is second reading and public hearing for ordinance 2025-27, providing for various general capital improvements. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clearly. For the record, you'll have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
Motion to open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
Seeing no one come forward, make a motion to close public comment?
Motion.
Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-27?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Can you hear me?
No.
No,
No?
you can't.
Hello? All
There you
right, I'm
can.
sorry. There we go.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Councilman, Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item of business is the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2025-28, amending and supplementing Chapter 103 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Article 14, Schedules, Basso Street. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clear for the record. You'll have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Seeing no one come forward, make a motion to close public comment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-28?
So moved.
Second?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item of business is the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2025-29, amending Chapter 244 Land Use and Development Regulations to establish an inclusionary zone district entitled AH4, providing affordable housing units to be developed subject to certain conditions and requirements. Attorney McGuckin?
Thank you. There is one minor change in the ordinance that was introduced in 2025-29. That's on page 3 of the ordinance, section 244-63.4, capital E, density area. The only change is to the minimum frontage on a cul-de-sac having an outside radius of 500 feet or less is how it was introduced. This would include now a semicolon lots with wedge frontage not located on a cul-de-sac, 45 feet.
Thank you. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
My name is Sheldon Hofstein, Jackson, New Jersey. I'm not speaking as a board member, but as a concerned citizen. Basically, I'm here to ask you to not vote on this ordinance today, but to delay it, to give the public time to learn how their lives will be permanently affected. The timeline for passing these ordinances happens to be March 15th, 2026. So there's plenty of time to discuss all of this. Since this ordinance only provided a list of lots and blocks, I'll give the location, which is off Hope Chapel Road, making a left going toward the base on Whitesville Road. To the left side, it runs from White Street to the Toms River border. Consists of almost 361 lots, most of which are vacant, though some have residential homes on there. And most of the lots are owned by LLCs. The Affordable Housing Plan, which passed the planning board, only lists 2 lots, lots 1 and 2, on block 22, 102, as part of the plan. And these 2 lots alone will have 438 housing units. Since this zone will be in effect for many years into the future, the impact of the laws on every Jackson resident, the council should provide their residents to answer to many of the questions before voting, such as what will be the impact of the overall environment, the infrastructure, such as water, parking, sewer, water runoff, impact on our schools. The last affordable housing round required 1,250 affordable units, which at the customary 20% of the market, we had to provide almost 6,000 housing units. This is why we have all the construction and congestion we have now. This one section is only 10%. I'd like to know the answer for that. The public needs a discussion before and more answers before the vote is taken. And this has been done before, but we should invite the affordable housing representatives, the town attorney for affordable housing, and so on, plus the 3 planning board members who worked on the new plan. The ordinance, along with some ordinances creating the AH zones, will add many thousands of residents to the population of Jackson. If we told this number with the many new residents from recently approved multifamily RG zones, we will be increasing our population when this is built out to over 100,000 people. You combine this with Jackson, Toms River, Manchester, Brick, Lakewood, and Howell, and we're looking at a major urban area of over 500,000 people. Okay. I just want to say one more thing that I think it would benefit everybody in this town to have a little more information. At the last meeting, some of the council members didn't even get a chance to read what was happening. And just one more request, any council member who may benefit financially or has family members, friends, or close acquaintances who may benefit from this ordinance or any similar ordinances should recuse themselves from voting on this ordinance. And let's see some real open government. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Seeing no one else come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
Motion. Aye. No.
Second.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Thank you, Clerk Martin. First, regarding this ordinance and the other two ordinances that are coming up on the agenda, I want to thank my colleague, Council Vice President Marty Bernstein, and also Planning Board Chairwoman Michelle Campbell, and Master Plan Committee members who are made up of residents and volunteers who put a lot of time and work over the last year to put together the required blueprint for development plan for our town for the next decade. I'm sure it was a Herculean task, and I want to express my gratitude and appreciation for all of you for working on it and introducing it for the residents and for the governing body. I understand parking space, open space, and some other restrictions and requirements have been included in these ordinances, and that's all well and good for the town, and thank you. However, I feel we can put in all the requirements we want, but 1,000 more housing units across our town is still 1,000 too much that our town can't handle at this time and will be burdensome for taxpayers. That's on top of the existing projects which have been approved in Jackson already, and where you have seen land cleared, where some building has taken place and some building hasn't taken place. And will it just be 1,000 units? I'm very concerned that, applicants, they like to come back for more, including the Fair Share Housing Center in the case of ordinance 2025-31. So I have some reservations about it. It's not all bad, and it's in all three ordinances, but with those reservations, I'm still going to continue to exercise a no vote on these, including ordinance 2025-29. Thank you.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
So we had just recently discussed, and I want to just get this right. The 1,000 affordable housing units were voted on in December of 2024.
That's
with
correct.
the previous council and was unanimously approved.
That's correct.
So this is happening regardless, these 1,000 homes. We're not voting against that today.
That's correct.
This is just restrictions in the development of what the developers can and can't do.
That's
And quite
correct.
frankly, these are some of the toughest restrictions I've seen in Ocean County with the parking, with open space, et cetera.
That's
so
correct.
the 1,000 homes is happening, unfortunately, no matter what, due to affordable housing from the state. And again, this was voted on by the previous council and approved unanimously in December of 2024. So I vote yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion approved. The next item of business is a second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2025-30, amending Chapter 244 Land Use and Development Regulations to establish an inclusionary zone district entitled AH2, providing affordable housing units to be developed subject to certain conditions and requirements. Attorney McGuckin?
The same change is being added to this ordinance, 244-63.2. Again, in subsection E density, we're adding lots with wedge frontage not located on a cul-de-sac at 45 feet.
Thank you. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clear for the record. You'll have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Sheldon Hofstein Jackson, just to continue, again, asking for a delay in the vote. Whether you vote yes or no, doesn't matter. I don't think the public's had enough time to find out where all these properties are, how it affects their lives, and there should have been more open government on this. The lots included in this one are located on Harmony Road between Jackson Mills and the Four Seasons Adult Community. They're located on Brewers Bridge on a section known as Tim Tam Camping Grounds, and that plan is to have 60 residential units, including 21 affordable units. And the other is again down on Wrightsville Road at Faraday Avenue and the border. And again, there's a planned residential and commercial use. And again, there's no information about anything. And I think, again, instead of voting yes again, you should delay the vote and have more discussion. And let's see a real open government in action. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eleanor Haddam, Jackson, New Jersey. Again, as Mr. Hofstein had stated, this does not delineate exactly what streets are going to be affected. I did look up the streets that are going to be affected. This is going to be major traffic in these areas along Brewers Bridge Road, Harmony Road, as well as the other development that's going on Harmony Road. The bulk standards are ridiculous. A 9,000-foot lot, 100-foot depth of the actual lot, which provides major high density, again, within the requirements of these and also these developers are not being forced to improve the infrastructure of these roadways that they're about to affect. So this council is going to vote on behalf of specific developers that were written into these specific lots, and this equates to basically spot zoning, which is illegal. I'd also like to know why it is only giving a 10% set aside for affordable housing and not our customary 20% set aside. This only benefits the private interests of these developers. And it does not outline the number of parking spots for the multifamily units. It only outlines how many parking spots are allowed for the single-family units. So why is this, all these questions I just answered? Because it's not in the ordinance. And therefore, this ordinance is extremely broad and creates a mess for our zoning board and our planning board when they are doing, they're looking at these applications. And you have developers going in front of these boards and there's no teeth in it. Again, it creates another mess. And it's not improving, again, the infrastructure and putting the burden on the taxpayer to improve. The same way this was done with the Chandler Road project and Brewers Bridge, or should I say Bethel Church, and now Pitney. So can you please answer those questions?
Ma'am, we have our professionals here. We're going to let everybody have a chance, and then our professional is going to answer your questions. They're right behind you
And then I can come back up?
at the next ordinance. But no, you
Well-
can stand there and ask all your questions for the next 2 minutes. Absolutely.
Well, these
They're
are my
writing them
questions.
down behind you.
Well, then, if
It's
they're
not a
coming
Q&A. It's a
forward-
question, and then we're going to answer your questions. That's the way it's going to go. That's the way we've set it up for tonight. That's why we have so many people here.
So many people here, this is a
Yes,
council
ma'am.
meeting. So again, as before, you refuse to answer my direct questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Seeing no one else come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Now, Council President, could we call
Yes.
up Ms. LeBeau and the
Can you
planner?
please answer the resident's question?
Ms. LeBeau, I guess, and Malvika? You mind just introducing yourselves each to the public?
Sure, my name is Robin LeBeau. I'm an attorney with Rothstein, Mandel, Strom, Hahn, Cipriani. I'm the affordable housing attorney for Jackson Township. Robin LeBeau, Rothstein, Mandel, Strom, Hahn, Cipriani. I'm here on behalf of the township for affordable housing.
My name is Malvika Apte, CME Associates. I'm a professional planner, and we drafted the master plan for Township of Jackson.
Thank you.
I took some notes about some of the comments that were just made. The first note I have is regarding spot zoning. Spot zoning occurs when the governing bodies picks a specific piece of property and changes the zoning. What's happened here is that the planning board has adopted a master plan which recommended rezoning of various areas of the township, and these are implementing ordinances that are consistent with the master plan, so this is not spot zoning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Regarding the difference in the set aside on some of the properties, generally in affordable housing, a range of set asides is approved. It could be 10% up to 20% is usually what's acceptable. The reason why there were differences in this plan is because for those specific properties, the developer was looking for actually a much higher density of development. And so this was a negotiation with the developer to get the density down, and also we brought the number of affordable units down. We had a certain number that we had to meet, which was 1,000 units, and we were able to do that by reducing the density on those parcels while keeping it 20% on the others.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. And just the one other comment that I had was, the 9,000 square foot and 100 foot. That's actually already existing in the township. In the R9 zone, we have zoning that's consistent with those standards currently.
Thank you, ma'am.
Was there anything else that was raised?
Anything else that comes up? If we miss anything, it will be collected by the clerks. They're going to watch the YouTube tomorrow, and they will email and get emails out to make sure that we get all the questions answered.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-30?
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yeah, Clerk Martin, thank you. Some of my concerns and reservations are still what the impact would be of these ordinances, especially on our taxes and services and infrastructure and for future residents. And of course, the increased traffic as a result. I vote no on that. Thank you.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item of business is the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2025-31, amending the Township Code of the Township of Jackson as to amend and supplement 244 entitled Land Use Regulations so as to amend 24491 entitled RG3 Regional Growth Zone. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Sheldon Hofstein, Jackson, New Jersey. The good news regarding this ordinance that it doesn't create a new zone. The bad news is the perception it creates. It appears that on one hand, the council is creating a specific ordinance for a favorite builder in order to make the homes on his property more marketable. On the other hand, it will set a precedent for other builders to demand similar preferential treatment. The result, more density, further building, and so on. These 20 accessory dwelling units gives the appearance of adding to the affordable housing stock. However, it bypasses the normal planning, building, and management or the Affordable Housing Authority that usually construct these units. These ADA units are in a residential zone and are deed restricted for only 10 years. 10 years. After that, they can do whatever they want. And they are not limited to affirmative marketing, minimum rent, and annual increases. So it's an open thing to who he can move there. According to the uses for this property of family members, the elderly, in-house healthcare providers, individuals with disabilities, low and moderate income households, just a bunch of wide open uses. As stated, one winner is the builder. The homeowner benefits by getting a rental subsidy, which enables the purchase of a home which he may not be able to afford. For many years, a homeowner could apply for a variance to construct and add on deed restricted apartment for an elderly relative or an individual with disabilities. These were commonly known as mother-daughter apartments. These were almost always approved. If the town is short a number of affordable units, and this is in the last round that this is for, the possible solution would be to comply by building just small separate affordable housing areas. The perception is that we're being presented with a form of builder's remedy where the public almost always loses. Again, there's a need for open public meetings so that the residents can hear why this ordinance is before the council. We also need all the relevant information from our professionals. Just one thing, since not to insult you, Ms. Kuhn, but just because you're in real estate and there's a bunch of property up there, make sure that you don't have any dealings with anybody involved in the project, otherwise recuse yourself. I'm sure you'll think of that. On the other comment is just that one of the board members is a friend, acquaintance, and so on, so let's not go into that with the builder, and I think Vice President Bernstein should recuse himself on this vote. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Eleanor Hannum, Jackson, New Jersey. First and foremost, local zoning changes that appear designed for specific parcels or developers can constitute spot zoning, which New Jersey courts have deemed invalid and unconstitutional and not serving a broader public purpose, except for that developer. Calling out discriminatory usage and request for clarity on this ordinance and how it affects our streets, our roadways, the density standards, and the parking. So again, this RG3 zone, this is Jackson Trails, which is Mordecai Eichhorn's development, in which I have quite a bit of knowledge about. Most of these lots are on 0.17 acres. It is not even remotely close to a quarter of an acre. And now we're going to be putting these accessory dwelling units on these properties. So after Mr. Eichhorn in court lost and had to reduce the density in his development, he's now coming back, and Jackson Township is about to reward him by now providing these ADU units on these 0.7 acres. This only benefits this one specific developer. This, again, is spot zoning because, no, you're not changing the zoning, but you're adding to the zoning to accommodate the accessory dwelling unit. So you're putting two dwelling units on 0.17 or 0.20 acres. Who is to determine that those who are renting these ADUs, who's determining that they are actually, in fact, a family member? It's not going to be code enforcement because code enforcement's hands are tied when it comes to these multifamily, single-family homes where we have multifamilies living in it. And when I speak with code enforcement, they tell me their hands are tied because how do you ask if they are family members? How do you prove they are family members? This ordinance lacks so much, and it is extremely discriminatory. So basically, on my 1 acre parcel, I can put 3 ADU units on it. Why not? And have my family members all live on my compound. But no, this ordinance is so discriminatorily written for one developer to increase the density so he makes more money, because this all comes down to money. Every single one of these ordinances tonight comes down to the benefit of not of the people, but of the developer. And you are all, it appears, in their pocket. So I would like to know why the burden is going to, again, be put on the resident. Because, again, this lacks any infrastructure along Hope Chapel Road to increase this density and that roadway, the water, the sewer. That still hasn't happened yet. So as we have right now, the infrastructure that is lacking. We have recycling that can't be all picked up. So therefore, my recycling, when it's supposed to be picked up on Thursday, they can't come pick it up because the truck is full because you have all these multi-families in one family resident putting out so much recycling, half of it which is their garbage, because the capacity of the home exceeds what it's supposed to have. And then I have to call to have them come back out. You are creating an infrastructure mess, as I can see, because then there'll be a next ordinance in order to fix that mess. as I had seen with the other ordinances that were on tonight's with Basso. You make the mess, and now you create an ordinance to fix it. And this is going to be another one. This should not go through. ADU units should not be allowed in Jackson Township.
Thank you.
Chris Pollock, Jackson, New Jersey. This ordinance is directly tied to the developer Mordecai Eichhorn. Our council vice president, Mordecai Bernstein, should not be voting on this. His wife and Mr. Eichhorn's wife run a political action committee together that's raised over $250,000. This is a clear conflict of interest. How can residents trust that this vote is in the best interest of Jackson families when money and political power are directly entangled between a council member's family and a developer? Mr. Bernstein, you need to recuse yourself from this vote. That is the ethical and responsible thing to do. Anything less makes this ordinance tainted by a conflict of interest. Jackson's residents deserve decisions made free of developer influence, free of PAC money, and free of backroom deals. They deserve politicians who put the residents first.
Thank you.
Seeing no one else come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
Second?
She's coming.
Val Tudor, Right to Bow Road, Jackson. I just want to add a comment based on what Eleanor and Chris said. What are the code of ethics all government officials must adhere to in Jackson, New Jersey? Acting impartially and not giving preferential treatment to any private organization or individual. And yes, a religious group is an organization. And that's what I feel you people do on just about every meeting that I come to.
Seeing no one come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-31?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
No.
Councilman Bressy?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
So this is an ordinance that the mayor negotiated that will save the town over 350 units. I vote yes.
Council President Kuhn?
I vote yes.
Motion approved. The next item of business is the first reading and introduction of ordinance 2025-32, amending the Township Code of the Township of Jackson so as to amend Chapter 3 entitled Administration, so as to revise Article 9 entitled Department of Public Safety. Council President Kuhn, are there any comments on ordinance 2025-32?
Yes, Madam Clerk, thank you. This ordinance amends Chapter 3 of the Township of Jackson Code regarding police appointments. It authorized the township in its discretion to appoint entry-level police officers in accordance with NJSA 11A413. This ordinance is required for the Jackson Township Police accreditation.
Thank you.
That's it, ma'am.
Are there any questions or comments by the Township Council?
I actually have a comment. I just wanted to get some clarity. Director Candido, while you're still here, this allows you to go off, you can go away from the civil service, correct? And you can hire, you have a broader span to hire new officers, correct? Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that I got that clarity, but I did
So
get some
if I could just ask a question, Mr. McGuckin, I know you and I have had this conversation. Our town's a civil service town. We're stuck with civil service and everything else when it comes to the police department. We have a way of having a little bit more gray area and wiggle room.
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President Kuhn, may I ask Director Candido? This doesn't affect the standards that are still in place that officers have to adhere to. It doesn't reduce the training or the requirements. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilman. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-32 on first reading and introduction to authorize the notice of the public hearing to be held on September 9th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressy?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item of business is the payment authorization of bills and claims. I would like to note the following abstentions. Abstentions include Councilman Borelli, AET01 and EYE01, and Council President Kuhn, RCS02. Are there any questions or comments by the Township Council?
No, Madam Clerk.
May I have a motion to approve the bills and claims with the abstentions noted?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressy?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item of business is Resolution 269-2025, amending the 2025 budget, which was read into the record by Council President Kuhn at the beginning of the meeting. May I have a motion to authorize Resolution 269-2025?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressy?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes, and I just want to take a moment and thank our business administrator. I don't think there's been a day that gone by that you and Ms. Marlin, our new CFO, have not been in touch with the members of the council and administration and getting this to where it got to. I know people will say this has been months and months. You've only been here for, 2 months, and the similar for the CFO, so thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes. Thank you. Before we get to the consent agenda, Madam Clerk, there's a different process that we do now.
Okay.
It is, would anyone like to pull anything off the consent agenda on the dais and speak of it and vote on it separately? Is there any resolutions that you'd like to pull?
I have a comment on 2 of them.
That's comments when you vote, but this is to pull them. No?
I have a comment to make.
No. This is to
But this
pull them
comment
off.
too, as
Like you
well,
want us
like
to talk
Councilman
about it
Palmer.
separately?
No.
Okay,
I don't want
yeah.
anything pulled.
Any comments? We all have our comments and we want to talk about it, but anything that we want pulled for us to talk about separately? Nothing? Madam Clerk?
Thank you. The next
What
item.
would I do?
You want to?
Oh, public, I'm sorry. By next time, I've got it, I swear. Would anybody from the public like us to remove any resolutions and discuss them separately from the current consent agenda? Please let me know now. You have one? What one? Sanctuary, you got it. What was that, 29, right?
274, 2025.
Yeah. So we're going to remove 274, and I think that's actually a couple of us do have comments on that one. Councilman Palmieri and myself were quick to get that resolution requested to be put on the agenda. Councilman Palmieri, you want to give your comments, and then I'll go next?
Sure. So this actually was brought up at the last council meeting by Ms. Tudor, who's here. She presented us with a resolution that Howell recently passed in regards to opposing sanctuary state policies, and we did read it. We did like a lot that was in it, and we actually made our own resolution, actually even stronger than Howell's, and that's what this resolution is, 274-2025. This resolution declares that Jackson Township will not be a sanctuary city and will follow the lead of the President of the United States in rejecting sanctuary policies. It states that New Jersey sanctuary policies obstruct local law enforcement, undermine safety, and defy federal immigration law. The council believes sanctuary policies are harmful to residents, health, safety, and welfare, while also threatening federal funding. The Township Council emphasizes that government efficiency should focus on improving services for residents, not protecting illegal immigration. The resolution asserts that state policies cannot force Jackson Township officials to limit efforts to protect residents or violate federal law. Jackson's police department and township officials have an affirmative duty to uphold state and federal law. The council pledges to place residents first by never allowing Jackson Township to be designated a sanctuary city. The resolution calls on the governor and the state legislature to reevaluate sanctuary state policies for the safety and welfare of our residents. It affirms that Jackson Township will strictly enforce all local, state, and federal law. The township will fully cooperate with federal immigration authorities, including ICE, and permit as permitted by law. Thank you.
Well, you just recapped it, so I have absolutely nothing to say. So I'm going to second that. That's pretty much what I was going to do. We pretty much went over the resolution, and I want to thank you for bringing that to us, and thank you, Councilman. So I'm good.
May I have a motion to authorize Resolution 274, 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Clerk Martin, want to thank Council President Kuhn and Councilman Palmieri, especially for your comments, and thank fellow Jackson resident Ms. Tudor for bringing the issue to our attention that it seems like we're wholeheartedly supporting. So, yes, thank you.
Councilman Bressi?
Definitely yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
And yes, and thank you, Mr. Palmieri. I think the next morning, bright and early, you were reaching out and getting everyone's very early, so we appreciate it. Thank you, yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item is the consent agenda. Listed for tonight's consideration are resolutions R 270 through 273 and R 275 through 280, 2025. Council President Kuhn, are there any additional comments?
I just want to bring, I said it in my opening speech, but we had a lot going on with a lot of officers. We have a lot of committees out here, and we have a lot of stuff that everybody's working together, and we created the Recreation Committee. And under 2 months, and I want everybody to hear it, when you work together and you work administration, you work with your council and you work with your committee members, and everybody gets along, it's a whole different ballgame and you get things done. We got Camp Joy on here that's ready to have a concept plan in under 2 months. That's a park that, everybody, you know where it's at. And that's something that really should be recognized. And I know, you can say what it is, but working together does make a difference. And I just want to thank my committee because they are very dedicated and everybody's different. You have, it's when it comes to recreation, we all see eye to eye, and it's great to work with them, and I appreciate them all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I vote yes on everything.
Thank you. May I have a motion to authorize the consent agenda resolutions 270 through 273 and 275 through 280, 2025?
Motion.
Second?
Thank you. Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes, but before I vote, I'd like to just mention something that catches my eye. You have a planning board member who's served time for years on the planning board and now still looking forward and going to the zoning board. I think that's really, something for the town to recognize these volunteers. Ray Tremor, thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
I vote yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
I do have a comment on resolution 273-2025, which is the snow plowing contract. The township put out a bid for supplemental snow plowing services, and only one company submitted a bid in accordance with the specifications. The current bid specifications require one company to cover the entire township of Jackson, which is over 100 square miles. Most snowplow companies do not have the capacity or equipment to handle that size of an area alone. This creates a barrier and discourages competition. As a result, the township effectively locks in one company each time, which limits competitive pricing. The rate in this contract is $550 per truck per hour. With 20 trucks on the road, that's costing the taxpayers $11,000 per hour. Seems very high. If the township opened up the bid to allow multiple snow companies to share coverage, for example, splitting the town into zones, we could encourage more bidders and potentially achieve more affordable rates. It is worth considering whether the specifications are inadvertently tailored to one vendor and whether the township can adjust future bids to promote fair competition and better value for our taxpayers. So for resolution 273-2025, I vote no. The rest, I vote yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
So I vote yes, and I just wanted to highlight yes and everything. I just want to highlight two other resolutions. I want to thank the mayor for resolution 272 together with Mr. McGuckin for a memorandum of understanding between the Township of Jackson and Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. It's great to have hopefully a better working relationship with our local unions, so thank you for that. I also want to piggyback off of Councilman Palmieri for a second. I also had similar concerns. I do want to give a special thank you to our I had a conversation with the contractor, and I am happy to hear that he's going to be increasing his services than he has provided in past years. I think last year we had no salters provided by the contractor. This year, I think he's going to be providing, 17 salters. And that really, I think I got the number correct. If I'm wrong, I'll let people know next meeting.
You're wrong. It's 10.
Okay. Oh, 7?
10.
10, sorry, 10. And that really comes with collaboration with our business administrator, the mayor, and Mr. Belinsky, together with council. So I appreciate that hard work. And I think our town is continuing to increase hopefully it won't snow, but if it does, hopefully everything will be plowed efficiently, safely, and everyone will be able to continue on their ways. Additionally, I just want to really piggyback off of my colleague, Mr. Bresci. Thank you, thank you, Ray. Sorry, I had a mental block for a second. We appreciate it. I think one of the things that we always saw on the zoning board was that we needed someone with fire experience. So we appreciate you willing to step off that cozy seat in the corner over there. Shimshi, I think you'll be missing him, but we look forward to you doing great things on the zoning board. Thank you, and I vote yes.
Council President Kuhn.
I'm just going to piggyback on Resolution 273 for the snow plowing. I was away 2 weeks ago, and we pulled it from the agenda because there was great concern. This was put out to bid, and there's no other companies that are able to do the capacity. We've gone back and forth. Believe me, we've had multiple meetings in regards to this to do exactly what Councilman Palmieri said. We just don't have contractors that are able to for the municipality to bring enough equipment and trucks and drivers and they're not willing to sign a contract that they're going to get 75 guys if we need them in a matter of X amount of time to get the snow. But he did come back and say that the salt he would do. And also we are putting another, I want to say it's a salt barrel. We're putting it on the other side of town, which is South New Prospect. We're looking for a spot to put it. I actually just got the purchase order to approve today, and I held off on it so that now the workers and the snow plows won't have to go all the way to the other side of town to get snow or to get salt and to bring them back to the other side, which will save a lot of money and time. So that will help a little bit, and then we will revisit it, and the contractor is ready, willing, and able. And Mr. Tremor Jr., thank you so much. We welcome you to the zoning board, and your knowledge and experience is going to be very, very helpful to the people on the board. Yes to everything else, and thank you.
Thank you. Motion approved. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes to speak and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Sheldon Hofstein, Jackson, my last hurrah for this evening. Just for people who happen to live in areas where the fourth round compliance mechanism is going to be, I'm just going to read off the properties. BYH Jackson, this is at Cross Street and White Street, 281 residential, 30,000 square feet of commercial. Vivano Properties, South Hope Chapel and Basso Street, 307 residential. Butterfly and Bennett's Mill, 160 residential, 21,000 square feet of commercial. Grotown and East Veterans. This is near Bowman's Road, 1,438 residential, 120,000 square feet of commercial. And if that's not enough, you have at the Pine Barrens Golf Course, 1,496 residential buildings, 240,000 square feet of commercial. At Chandler Road Concept, they give 66 affordable housing, which means 330 units at 20%. Hawkins Road, 22 affordable housing, 110 residential. Farmingdale Road, 53 affordable housing, 265 residential. Harmony, 15, 75 residential, and something called Rutherford, and I think that may be off Bennett's Mill. That's 60 affordable housing and 300 units. That's a lot of building, and I think that the township should, which is something you usually don't do, but let the residents whose properties are being rezoned know what is happening so they don't get surprised if they want to build something or have a sale. Just one other comment just out of the box. and Mr. McGuckin would know the answer, I assume. Could the council just not build any housing except 1,000 affordable units in 1 or 2 spots and meet the requirements?
Correct.
I didn't hear you.
Sorry, Sheldon, could you say that one more time?
He said, can the township just not build any other spots and take the 1,000 affordable and put them into one spot? Could we take it and pick a section of the town and put 1,000 affordable housing is what he's asking.
The township has to build it within the jurisdiction of the municipality, and that is one option that the township could do. However, the infrastructure needs to be available, the property needs to be available, must be approvable. All of those factors are factored in, and when they did their research as to those properties, these are the ones they felt could meet the requirements of the statute and the Fair Housing Act, and could be built.
Okay, just a question, because I think it was done once before, and Mr. Bresci would probably know, on Solar Avenue years ago, something called Windsor Crescent. I think those are all affordable housing units, if I may be incorrect, I really don't know. But just want to know if that's a possibility. Other than that, nothing else at this time. I thank the council for all the time you've given me this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Eleanor Haddam, Jackson, New Jersey. You made a comment about the infrastructure has to be there. Well, clearly the infrastructure is or is not there for all these ordinances that you just passed. So that's a moot point. I have a concern. So I deal with different residents that reach out to me that their quality of life is being impeded or affected by a residence that is near them or next to them. Which brings me to something that I have noticed and a pattern. This pattern goes down the road of the zoning officer, who clearly is selectively doing his job. So I will give you a case in point. 45 Pitney Lane. They put on an addition that, quote unquote, is a great room for the family. It is not a great room. It is an assembly facility for the community. It has not been rezoned. It has a certificate of occupancy as a rental. 85 Valley Road. That is a monstrosity, and it is very, very clear what that quote unquote great room that the owner put on that property. And again, it's a house of assembly. It is not a great room for the family. And that too is a rental. I have currently 24 Cambridge. That's a rental. That is exceeding the 70% coverage. And no one is going to change my mind. I've been there numerous times. Currently, we have 18 Deer Lane. That's in Hartfield. That is being used not for a single family residence, but for other means. That is affecting the quality of life of all those residents that live near and around that home. You also currently have, that I have here, 5 properties that have been granted planning board approval as houses of worship. They have not finished their site plan. They have not done any of the improvements. They are not supposed to be using the facility the way that they are using it with all of these cars and such high occupancy until they meet the requirements that they have agreed upon at the planning board, in which they're not. All 5 of them, their COs, they're all rentals. It is, and they are all severely impeding the quality of life of the people around them. Parking all over the streets. 780 Hyson, 9 Lehigh, in which that's going to be the next ordinance because you're going to have to fix that mess because of the parking. 1 Linda Drive, 864 Bethel Church. And one I sent Mr. Bernstein this weekend as I was going to my grandson's football game in Howell, 1231 Aldrich Road, where they approved that with a blind hill, with the agreement, they will not park on Aldrich Road. Because if you are pulling out of West Connecticut Concourse, you are taking your life in your hands. And now you're parking cars there that's impeding the sight for a driver. I am doing this intentionally every single time, and they're also operating outside their statement of operations because they are there every single day, most of the day. That is not what they agreed upon in their statement of operations. When it comes to Aldrich Road, I will keep on taking notice because if somebody gets killed, I will reach out to their family and let them know that I tried to help fix this mess and the safety of their loved ones.
Council President.
One second. So the only one that I can comment, and I did write every single property, Ms. Hannum, that you wrote down, and I will look into it. On 1231 Aldrich Road, I can say that there was 2 cars, not on Aldrich, but they were on East Connecticut, and I went and I knocked on the door, and I asked them to move it. I know I've gotten your pictures, but I live right there. It's my neighborhood. So I'm glad you know where I live. Okay. And I'm just saying, I'm saying, thank you, ma'am.
I have just a question maybe for the councilor, Mr. McGuckin. So Ms. Hannum said the zoning officer is picking and choosing how he does his job. Who does the zoning officer report to? Does it report to council or administration? Who should take up that accusation?
Administration.
So, Mr. Phillips, that would be, I guess, your purview at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President Kuhn,
Yes.
regarding statement of operations, if it's not being followed, or Mr. McGuckin, what are the consequences of that?
It could be
If
zoning
it's brought to the
violation.
attention, okay.
Could be zoning violation.
Okay.
He said it could be a zoning violation.
And Council President, I got Ms. Hannum's communication email. I did forward it to the zoning officer. I have not heard back yet.
I
So
have
I'll-
not
I'll
heard back.
follow Mr. Phillips also.
We have forwarded it. Thank you, sir. I apologize.
Well, Jim Selecki of Jackson. I actually came here with one thing to talk about, but I see you guys caught up and adjusted Resolution 269. Unfortunately, you didn't repost it to the website, so we still have.
That's why I had to read it into the record.
Okay, so that's that. Also, the user-friendly budget needs to be published before the next meeting.
It is. I specifically asked if it was published. It is. I asked twice.
It's
Madam
not
Clerk,
out
can
there as of
you?
tonight at 5:30.
I get it, so I didn't look, but I did ask for it to be
That's fine.
published, and I was told.
In regard to Resolution 279, Camp Joy, I've lived in that area for 52 years, give or take, on and off. The one thing I would ask you to consider, you're talking about putting in 2 softball fields with fences. I would ask that you make those fences retractable so that you can take them down.
That's the plan.
Okay, that's good. Now my final comment, which is going to be most of my time. As you know, I come to this meeting all the time. I go to the planning board meetings and I go to the zoning board meetings. At just about every other planning board meeting, the attorney has to state and let the residents know that the planning board cannot look at any traffic other than ingresses or egresses. And he says the zoning board can. So if a person takes a preliminary site plan to the planning board, we can't look at it. If it's in front of the zoning board, they can look at it. So my question is, based on that, is let's get rid of the planning board. Put everything under the zoning board jurisdiction. The planning board all falls under the township code. We can make that change. Make it a zoning board issue only. Let them get all the site plans and do the reviews. And this way we can look at traffic at intersections that are less than a quarter of a mile from these large applications that are coming in. Because I'm tired of hearing him say, and he said, and you know, the planning board, it's the state Supreme Court basically has ruled that they're not allowed to. But he then says he expects that to be overturned. Well, the only way it's going to get overturned is if somebody fights it. So here's my question. Let's take the planning board and reject one of these applications based on traffic. Let them sue us, and let's get to the Supreme Court and get that thing overturned, because it's never going to work. So if you're not going to go to the zoning board for everything, we got to figure out a way to get this ridiculous rule. A planning board can't, but the zoning board can. In regards to the planning board with Mr. Tremor leaving, I hope that when you consider someone to replace him, you consider someone that has the fire experience that he does.
If I could just add for a second, the mayor appointed already to the environmental seat to the planning board, Mr. Tremor's son, who's actually a firefighter also. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to have that firefighter experience on the board.
Good.
That's why we're okay with Mr. Tremor leaving to the zoning board.
That's fine. That's one of the things that I think is
He
very,
replaced himself with a younger version.
that's good. Thank you.
Ray 3.0.
Thank you, sir.
Council President, the clerk just, if I could just say how to get to the budget, the clerk just showed me. I
Let
did
the
it.
clerk, let the
You want
clerk say
do
it.
Okay.
Or Christian, actually, because
it's
Christian
right-
puts
the
it on
steps
there.
right here.
Yeah. Because I knew it was on there. Or Madam Clerk, go ahead. Oh, so it's on there, it's just not available yet. So we'll have it on there ASAP. Hi, ma'am.
Hi, everybody. Lisa Zayak. How are you?
Amazing. How are you?
I just want to tell you how much I love my town. So, given this, and I have a couple questions. All these LLC purchases and rentals of those houses, and you know the list, and every day it's growing and growing because every day there's a new one. Is there somewhere that the residents can go to see which ones were addressed and what's been done about them?
Absolutely. You can
Okay.
email me and I'll forward it to code enforcement and they'll
So I
respond.
can email, okay. And if I come across one,
Absolutely. I email code enforcement every day.
I get so upset because they
Every day.
destroy
I
the
send them to the
yards that-
department head. Absolutely. I mean, when you shouldn't have to do that because we do have code enforcement, but please send it to me and I'll
But
forward
they're
it over.
popping up so
I know,
quickly.
I know, I
How
know.
can you keep
Send them
track?
over and I'll forward them.
And the other thing regarding the sanctuary cities, which I'm 100% in agreement with all you guys, what policies are you going to have regarding that? Like, we know there's a lot of illegals in town. Are we going to be doing anything about that, or?
We're going to meet with our department heads with the business administrator now that it just passed and we'll let you know.
Like, say, one of these house rentals, and you know it's filled with a bunch of illegals, and they're causing problems in
Greg,
the
you wanna-
neighborhood, what do we do?
Well, that's not an assumption the township can make. That'd be illegal.
But it's an observation the residents
It's
can
an
make.
observation anybody can make, but that assumes that because people of a certain heritage, that they're illegal. And
They
that would
could
be
be
a-
any heritage,
That would
it
be a
doesn't
clear
matter.
constitutional violation to just go to a house which has renters in it, which
Mhm.
appear to be Hispanic, and say you must be illegal. So we would have to have probable cause to do any of those things.
It could be
So-
any nationality. Some of them are in this room. Are they legal? You know what I mean? I could be
We do
illegal
not
for
have
all
the
you know.
right, we do not have the right to simply, as a township, to go up to
Okay.
somebody and ask them what their
So
nationality
the
is.
landlords should be providing the township with information as to whether they have legal citizens residing in their homes, no?
They are not required to do that under state law.
Okay, all right, so that answered that. All right, so basically I can email you.
Yes, ma'am.
But there's no specific site we can go to see if a property has been addressed
I
and
mean,
what's been done?
yes, we'll have STL once it's up and running, yes.
Okay, all right.
You can read the violations that were submitted and read, we're working on it. We are working on
Council
it
President,
aggressively.
If I could just clarify, if you put in an address in, you can check if there are violations that were submitted,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It wa- I
And-
just, I don't want to say yes and
Right.
code enforcement isn't doing it
But
yet. So
then
we're
you can
working on it.
see if there was any outcome to what we
Correct.
did.
It should have notes in there. So once
Okay.
you get the violation goes in, they're supposed to put, we're working on it. We meet every 2 weeks I meet with the administrator and the
So
departments.
when you have it all set and there's a specific site we could go to.
You should be able to go and do it. As Ms.
If it-
Hannum said, she knows where I live. So if you type in my address, you can see if I have any
Okay.
violations.
Okay.
And if I do, you're going to see what code enforcement
Mm-hmm.
or zoning officer said, and if I cured it or not, or abated it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Council President King, if I may, Mr. McGuckin, It's safe there, people, like a resident,
Your mic.
Jeez. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Mr. McGuckin, like safe residents suspect suspicious activity, report it to the Jackson Police, maybe Director Candido if you can jump in. Can't you reach out to federal authorities like ICE? No? Because of,
Yeah, to be clear,
okay.
the Attorney General has decided
But I've been hearing and hear ICE raids going on and
ICE can do whatever
various
they want.
communities.
Yeah,
and
we're
everything.
not,
The Attorney General has prohibited local law enforcement
Yeah.
from assisting ICE in locating, transporting, arresting, detaining those who are undocumented and here in the country illegally. That is a directive of the state Attorney General. It's not a state law. It's a directive of the Attorney General. Every police officer in the state has to answer to the Attorney General. If they ignore his guideline, they would be subject to discipline and potential punishment. It's a horrendous directive from an Attorney General who's unelected. It's not a state law, but that is the law of the state, unfortunately, because he has the authority, and the Supreme Court has given him that authority to make those determinations to control the actions of police officers in the state.
Even if they're breaking federal laws.
Even if they're
like
breaking
immigration
federal
laws.
That's correct.
Isn't that something?
It's absolutely horrendous.
We got a big election, folks, in November. Get out there and
Thank
vote.
you.
That's all
Sir?
we can do is change the direction of our state.
Joseph Raschuti, Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Word in like code enforcement. I had complained a while ago when our town administrator first came on board, 167 North Hope Chapel. It came before the zoning board and was denied to change the use from residential to a business. It is now a year and a half later, and I have done numerous complaints at the zoning board. It's still operating.
You
How
sent
much
it to
do-
her?
Why don't the town board it up and tell them get the proper permits?
That goes on our zoning officer. If it's a change of use and they were denied it and they're doing it anyway, that goes to Jeff Papora, our zoning officer. So I'm going to write down the address because I have about 15
It
other.
doesn't take a year and a half for him.
I don't disagree with you. Listen,
You know,
you're not going to get
it's-
any
wrong is
disagreement from me.
wrong.
What is it,
And
167?
Shut them down.
167 North?
167 North Hope Chapel.
I wrote it
And
down.
in his testimony before the zoning board, oh, there's just going to be 4 or 5 people coming in. I've been by there where there was 10 cars parked in that driveway, and he asphalted the backyard as a pickle court, which he was using as excess parking until zoning made him go out and put the fence back up across the end of the driveway. Another incident, we've got a shoe that is applying to be legal. They've been operating for 2 years illegally. I don't know who's turning the blind eye. 2 years illegally. And he was supposed to have been before the zoning board last week. It's been changed to next month.
We didn't have a quorum.
But he didn't have the permits. They got a tent, air conditioning, heat, bathrooms, and it's been operating, going on in this town for 2 years. Now you understand why people get fed up. And you say, I don't mean you personally.
No,
but
I know. I'm not
code
taking it personally.
enforcement's fault. Code enforcement. And code enforcement, something's going on, but to have something illegally going on for this long, something's going on. I don't know what it is. And
I
another
agree.
thing, I live in a senior community, and there's a bunch of us that are ticked off with the tax assessments. We own just a little over 20 acres. No improvements to all the buildings, no upgrades, no swimming pool. Our assessment went from 6 million to 17 million. And I'm ticked off because I'm on the board and we just had to do our budget for the upcoming year. And with that assessment from 6 to 17 million, we got a lot of people live on Social Security. They can't afford increases, but for us to meet our expenses and our tax bill, we're going to have to increase it on these seniors. And in Jackson, there are a lot of senior communities.
Yeah.
And they're going to start looking at this fine-tooth comb. Something's got to be done. We're getting fed up. Can't afford it no more. And we will, if we sold it for I don't know $17,400,000 each of us will get and move out. But we don't want to move. We like it where we're at. We like Jackson. But you're pricing the seniors out of Jackson. And even individual homes, you increased it. Where are we going to go?
I know.
Getting fed up with it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Council President, can I just be very clear with something that the resident said? Code enforcement and the zoning officer report to administration. We have ordinances on the books, and we could pass a dozen more ordinances. However, the administration has to be the one to enforce it. And code enforcement and the zoning officer report to administration. We don't have authorization to hold them accountable if they do not enforce.
We're working together,
our
Councilman. I got to
ordinances.
stop you because we are working
We are
together with
working
him.
together.
So I
But
mean,
the complaints
but this
here
is, I understand,
don't
but it's a
fall
new
under our
thing.
purview.
I understand, but I think we've beaten that to a dead horse.
I
think
just
they
want
know.
to be clear because they,
So they
our
know, they're
residents
well
keep
aware,
coming
but we're meeting
up here.
every 2 weeks with
We are,
administration.
and
I'm
I'm
meeting
sure
every
that-
2 weeks with
I'm
administration.
sure they're doing
So
better,
I don't
but-
want to say council's not doing anything because I'm busting my ass to meet with
No one said
administration.
council's not doing anything. I said we can pass a million ordinances, but code and the zoning office does not report to us.
I understand that, but let's work with the new administration.
If I could just add one more thing before the residents speak, one question about taxes. I know there was I'm not a tax expert, but there was an appeal process.
Mhm.
My understanding is that
It's well over,
that,
yes.
well over. If that development has obviously tax concerns, that they feel their assessment wasn't correct, what would be the appropriate body? Would they go to the county?
I would have them go to Peter Moore.
It would be a tax appeal process that they're entitled to.
Okay, so there is a process, and the proper authority would be
County tax-
Ocean County Tax Appeals Board.
If you need the information, email Councilman Bernstein. He'll be more than happy to send it to you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Peggy Kolowitz. I've lived in Jackson 60 years. I live in Brookwood 3, and I'd like to know what anybody is going to do. I live on Lehigh Boulevard, and you're turning it into a commercial property?
That's not this board.
Did you okay it?
No, that's not this board. This is council.
And you don't care if they...
No, that's just not this board. That was not at our meeting.
It's not up to you guys, even though you run the township. And okay.
We're not on. Greg,
It
can you?
goes with what this young lady here said.
Yes, and the
About
cars
about the cars coming into our
on
area.
Lehigh Boulevard, how are people going to get in and out of this development then?
And
That's-
they're making one of
There,
the.
I believe they're going to do a no parking on there, like we just passed on Basso. That's something that comes, so when the planning board or zoning board, they approve something, it comes back. If they make regulations on it or stipulations that ordinance need to be created, that's when it comes to us and we would create an ordinance that there's no parking on that street.
So anybody could take residential and turn it into commercial.
They can go in front of a land use board.
They can, that's the land use board.
Right, okay.
I'm going to have to move this one up a little bit. Sorry.
Can you hear, is it on?
Can you hear me? Okay.
No, can you, Christian, can you give him a microphone because he's a little tall for that one?
I'll just try and stand over here.
He'll
maybe.
give you a microphone.
I'll be all right.
You all
don't
right?
worry.
All right.
Yep. John Rodriguez, Superior Officer, President, PBA 168. As our Township Council and Business Administrator, I'm sure you're aware of the court hearing and its outcome relative to our Public Safety Director position. I'd like to take a few moments to clarify what actually resulted in our union position as we continue to work to move JPD forward. Excuse me. As it pertains to the court case, the judge very notably did not weigh in on the appropriateness of Director Candido's actions thus far during his tenure, nor was any challenge to his scope of authority heard. As a result, the judge merely stated that the Public Safety Director cannot be a lieutenant on leave, despite the township's logical arguments to the contrary. So in plain English, we have temporarily lost Candido as the director as of September 15th, but not the director's position, and all the while still maintaining faith in the appeal process that could reverse this decision. Prior to coming tonight, I took the time to review my previous comments here at the microphone. And while we've made progress with the areas Director Candido has been able to control, there still remain many day-to-day issues that require addressing The following are a few highlights. Thanks to our director, we are in the process of acquiring new bulletproof vests for the near quarter of the agency that were allowed to pass their expiration date under the chief. Sadly, this process takes time, and as we await forfeiture funds to be released for the near term, many officers remain unprotected on patrol. We still have a culture of inequity fostered by day-to-day decisions that provide specialty assignments and compensation directed towards a small minority of personnel using arbitrary and inconsistent criteria. Our recruitment efforts are minimal at best, and our agency remains unequipped to serve the changing population demographics and still has no one court interpreter certified to speak Spanish. The volume of calls for service that require this skill is continuing to increase at an exponential rate. The only effort towards this end is laughable and came within the last week, whereby a handful of officers are being sent to a one-day class for tactical Spanish, whatever that means. As someone with Spanish language proficiency who worked cases using this skill prior to the interpreter certification requirement, I can tell you that a one-day class is not only unlikely to provide any lasting language retention, but also potentially dangerous when one of those officers tries to remember a command 2 years from now on a dark and stormy night on a high-stress call. Miscommunicating, particularly when you don't realize you made a mistake, is potentially more dangerous than not communicating. Additionally, there has been encouragement to take Spanish language courses on their own time, but without schedule accommodation or compensation. Recruitment of native speakers remains the most impactful option, and there has been no direction given towards this end, while we continue to disenfranchise victims and unnecessarily delay investigations while we await interpreters from other agencies. Our genuine hopes when moving forward with the public safety director position were that they and the chief would collaborate to improve the agency and make joint decisions to correct the tumultuous leadership dynamic and provide consistent and clear direction. But through no fault of Director Candido, this did not happen. We have concerns that this court ruling will lead to a return to business as it was, and the progress we have made thus far, such as actually having command staff meetings on a weekly basis to get administration in the same room, of which, by the way, the chief has only attended approximately a quarter, or taking steps needed to actually fill vacancies, hire new officers, and acquire equipment will go away. There are concerns also about the draconian cuts threatened by the chief at the start of talks regarding the public safety director position and what this will mean for the services the police department can provide. As an example, the budget, which is managed by day-to-day operations under the chief, has seen overtime explode in an unprecedented manner with mismanagement, having the agency projected to exceed $1 million this year. As this was brought up at the last council meeting with a number of 580,000, I was informed today that we are now at 668,000. That's 2 weeks. This is reckless and insulting to the taxpayers of Jackson Township. I could continue with additional examples, including highlights of Director Candido's achievements, but in the interest of time and the fact that most of us are already well aware of the great work he's done, I'll wrap up. My hope is that I've made our position clear. In short, the job isn't done. There's still a tremendous amount of work to be done to move our police department forward, and the unions remain here ready to support council and administration's efforts to continue the progress. We look forward to continuing to work together towards that end. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to put into the record, because I don't think people really got that. So you're saying in the last 2 weeks that in overtime, that the taxpayers have paid $88,000 in overtime?
That's correct.
In 2 weeks to
That's
the police
correct.
department?
That's correct.
I was under in mine because I had said we were at 650, but we're at 668. That's a concern.
So
Thank you for coming.
if I could just add, Lieutenant, thank you for coming up. We understand that it's not always easy for someone in your position to come up. And I can tell you that the administration and the council understand the needs of the PD, and we're here to support you. And we're going to continue to do whatever we could to make sure that the men and women are going into a well-run and organized and a safe environment. So thank you.
Thank you. And we appreciate your efforts thus far.
Last question. How many vests are still expired on active police officers that are out working right now? Do you know?
I believe it's approximately 30.
So in the, so 30 officers, just so I want you guys to hear that, everybody, we have 30 of our men and women in blue that have expired vests that are walking around going into, as we're talking about everything that's going on in our town, and they're walking around
for the benefit of the room, the vests generally carry a 5-year expiration date. So it's, there's sufficient time to plan accordingly.
Yeah, I would think so. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Hi, Donna Cadell, 534 Getz Lane. As a real estate agent for over 20 years, I get asked this a lot about the rental properties. If I list something out on the MLS, we do an NTN report. So we collect a lot of data. We collect a background check, credit. I believe they supply a social security number. So as a landlord, I understand they have to register in Jackson to be a landlord. Why wouldn't not the township pass some type of an ordinance that says as landlords, they should be doing some type of a check? I'm not saying that they have to. I'm not saying that they have to not rent to somebody.
Yeah.
But part of that check would make sure that, A, they don't have a criminal background. That would probably be one of the most important things.
So because we've
Yes.
worked together for a very long time.
Yes.
We are not supposed to touch those results.
We don't.
They used to give you a credit score. So they
Yes.
give you a bunch of credit scores and you'd see their
Right.
debt
We
to this.
don't do
Now you go
anything-
0 to
right.
100.
The tenant has to go
To the land,
online,
yeah.
and then we get a number. That number is a 0 to 100.
To 100, yeah.
Right.
But we can't give that anywhere. Like we can't,
No,
the
I know that you
township's not gonna-
can't give it anywhere, but shouldn't landlords be required when they're having tenants that, especially in the town where now there are a ton of LLCs.
Yeah.
Every time I turn around, there's another rental.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, residents are speaking all the time of their concern. Wouldn't it be in the best interest of the town to know that these tenants don't have a criminal background?
So we've tried, this council has tried working with the code enforcement and what,
Right.
we added needing to provide a license. We added needing to provide a letter of formation. We've added everything that they've asked for. We've added that we legally can do, but I think it comes to, it's a matter of, what I was told. This is what I was told. And Councilman, I just want to, and I apologize for before because I just such a passionate of mine. And I just want to apologize in front of everybody because that was wrong of me. But we've actually went and met with code enforcement and said, okay, what can we do? And the thing is we were told that if they feel that there could be somebody that's an illegal rental or it's that they have to actually go knock on their door. And if they can't get in, then they have to go to the police station and file for a warrant and have a judge allow them. And I was told, and I'll put my hand to the Bible,
Right.
we're not doing that as code enforcement. Like, we're not doing that. So I'm like, okay, what else can we do that maybe we can go and we can focus? And this has been 14, 15, 16 months in the making. Just want to know, this is not, I just wake up one day and decide. So they said, we can't go and do that. We have to go to the court. The court has to go give us a court date and go. So I'm like, I would love that answer. I tried to meet with our judge to kind of give us an outside bird's view. And he said, create this bureau. That's what other towns are doing. Follow this town. So we're trying to do everything, but you can't, landlords, if they want to not get a social security number and get a background check and not do that, you can't
But then
tell them
Are they
no.
held liable if something happens? Like, is there anything that
The ordinance is, so our ordinance,
But they're
just so
being
you know,
broken,
every
yeah.
single ordinance,
Yeah.
if you drive past a house and their grass is 15 inches high, that code enforcement has at their discretion can write it to the owner or the tenant. It says it right on there. You can check whatever box you want and you can put it on there. And then you can go.
about grass at all.
I know, I'm so over grass. I don't know what else I could say with it, but
So, Council President, if I could just
Yes.
quickly ask a question. I know we created that ordinance. I think a lot of residents asked what happened to it. I think we had created it with an understanding it takes a couple months to get it up and
Yeah.
running. I think by our next meeting, we had talked about, can we just talk about the process?
So we have the budget. So in the budget, we went and we sat with the CFO and we had to add. So when we got the budget back, I said, wait a second. I called the council. I said, that line was not in the budget, which is the bureau. We have to create that $0 in there. So then our attorney told us we have to create an ordinance. So we have to have a first and second reading. That will create the ordinance prior to January. Then in December, we have to hire new code enforcement with a Bureau of Housing, an admin, and they're going to set everything up. And then we have to start in January. Once the money, because we have to change the landlord registration,
Right.
which we did from 125 to 225. So that $100 will pay for that services, but they are going to start in January because you got to set
To
it up.
start, yeah.
The same thing we did with the last changing of the
Right.
land. It's
And
not,
I
it doesn't
think
happen
that
overnight.
As the public should really, get back to that, see something, say something.
Say something, email.
I think a lot of people are like afraid to do it, but everybody should be speaking out and not in a bad way. I
Yeah.
mean, just send an email.
Any email that's sent to council, we forward to
Right.
our business administrator and our
whatever
department head,
department we feel it goes
and they do
into.
their investigation. But
There's none
that's
that sit in our inbox.
Right. I have one more question about the ADU.
Yeah.
Are they just in one specific part of town?
can I?
Yeah.
I'll
Council-
answer that quickly. It's just in the RG3. It's part of a negotiated, I'll call it settlement, due
Right.
to the fact that the developer was allowed potentially by right to go ahead and put another 350 units of duplexes, and the government felt that it would not be good planning from those single family homes to turn into duplexes. So instead, the negotiated settlement. So it was just an RG3, nothing
Right,
else.
and the way I read it, it could be an accessory building like behind a single family house.
Only in the same structure and the footprint of the house.
Right, but then how is that fair to other property owners in town? Like I have adult parents that I might want a granny shed in my backyard or a granny flat, whatever they're calling it in this ordinance. And, how is that just fair
So-
to only one particular set of people or one particular set or part of the town when a lot of us could benefit? I mean, I would love to have my parents live with me. My house isn't big enough. I would love for them to have their own little place that they're not on,
So-
in my home.
I don't think most residents in Jackson would be happy to hear that the state of New Jersey is examining about allowing ADUs throughout everywhere. It's something that I think the Democrat majority is looking into. I don't think that's what the residents in town would want to hear.
I don't know.
That would be increasing density. This came about due to the fact that the zone allows for potential of duplexes, which would have increased the yield from 450 to about 675 units. And that's not something that this government wants and the town wanted.
But
So
also
All
said
right,
it could be a rental property.
Thank you. We have to.
Yep. Thank
Sorry,
you.
ma'am. Thank you.
anyone else?
Deb Jones, Hyson Road. Again, I'm standing here and I'm a little disgusted as a resident because, you guys are watching the town burn down and you step back and blame someone else when meanwhile you're holding the match. I just don't understand. It's not our fault. It's this one. It's that one. I was at the planning board meeting. It's like for residents, we have to chase our tail because, it's not our council. It's this council. It's not that council. It's this council. I'm done. I'm over it. You sit there and you blame code enforcement for things. Well, you know what? Just like you say, we need more police officers, and I agree. We have a lot of square mileage in this town. Code enforcement also has to patrol all of those same roads. Maybe they need more people. It's just, I'm so tired of hearing it's not our fault, it's this one's fault. You don't get to weasel out of it by blaming another council. I'm done.
Anyone else? Seeing
Chris Pollock, Jackson, New Jersey. Very well said. I think a lot of people are just frustrated with the way government is working in general. We have the council at odds with the mayor at odds with the council, you guys fighting with code enforcement, holding up the budget for 8 months, over $150,000. This is crazy the way this government's working. Why aren't you all sitting down and trying to work together? It doesn't feel like that. It feels like everybody is fighting. Everybody is against each other, and the people of this town are the ones paying the price. This is a problem, and this is not how government's supposed to work. We're supposed to work together. And just, we're all fed up. Every resident's fed up. I don't know whether you guys are just out of touch with the people, you don't understand how they really feel, or you guys are working against everybody. And whether you are or you're not, I'm not even saying you're working against the people. But you got to understand, that's how people are going to perceive you based on everything that's going on in this town. And these things need to change. We need to call out the problems, sing it out loud, be real about it. The people are tired of politics like this, the games you play, the freaking media that you pay off to slander other people. It's sickening the way you do this. And people are sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. We all are. We're tired of this. No more.
perfect timing.
All right, guys. My name's Adam Mighty. I live in Jackson. I grew up here. Went to Holman, went to McAuliffe, went to Liberty, went to college, got a biology degree, and I'm here on behalf of the environment. Just 2 points I want to make. First thing's about RG3. Have you guys applied to the Pinelands Commission yet for that application?
I'll answer that. The Pinelands had to review this initial application and they signed off, yes.
Have they signed
Yes.
off already?
Yes.
Okay, so the
We can't do anything to Pinelands without Pinelands approval.
No, I absolutely understand that because I have a map right here. You can see all the wetland, you can see all the pineland, and we're also on the RG3, one of the perimeters, one-fourth of the perimeter
Sure.
is Conservation Overlay District, right? It's our Conservation Overlay Zone, so there's a variety of applications relative to the environment that would need to be applied and approved before we can actually move forward with the application. So I understand you guys, you're telling me, yes, you spoke with the Pineland Commission and they signed off on it, but what about the multitude of applications like the letter of intent, the soil evaluation, all these things? My concern, which is my second point, is I feel like we pass ordinances before we actually, meet state and federal requirements. So I don't know, I just feel like we're preemptively approving things just to like cover our behinds. Strictly concerned with the environment. I feel like we're just running out of trees. It's so bright in town. There's no shade. Furthermore, I just feel like there's not enough just surveillance on these applications. Block number 5601, lot number 63. It's 90 North County Line Road. I got the OPA request back from the Department of Environmental Protection. They received a letter of intent to, disrupt the land in 2005, but they never went and updated that letter of intent when they cleared the land in 2023. So 18 years later, from the time they got approved, they finally went to the trees, about 4 acres, and clear cut it down. So I know, I have the statute, all these permits from the DEP last for a maximum of 5 years. If he wanted to build in 2023, that's fine. He would have had to just survey the land, but they never did. And this goes back to my last time I was here. Like the developer, the lawyer, whoever he was, he lied under oath. I asked him, when was the last time you disturbed the land? He said it was 2005. It wasn't true. I went back to Google Earth history, and there's I just want to make sure that we are taking the proper steps. We're reviewing all of the applications that are necessary for the environment, whether it's a species inventory, flood hazard plan, stormwater, just all of these things for the environment I'm immensely concerned about. So I please ask that you guys just, I don't know. I was watching on the way here. I just left my laboratory. I agree with a lot of the things people are saying. I feel like we farm over accountability. And I think we need to maybe just establish what role the council can actually, what role can you actually play? I mean, you guys are the only board that's on payroll. I don't know how other boards that aren't on payroll have more leverage or authority to make decisions in town. So please, I'm even volunteering for the Environmental Commission. I'm going to join the committee. I'm going to do my part and make sure that we're building properly. I don't care who builds what. I just want to make sure people are following the rules. The only land left in New Jersey is especially Jackson and Ocean County. It's the most environmentally sensitive land. Nobody ever wanted it because everybody knew you would have to go to the DEP and get a variety of myriad of applications. It'll cost a lot of money, but it seems like now if you have just enough money, you can bypass all of these permits and things like that. So I'm just asking you on behalf of the wildlife in town, on behalf of the butterfly bogs and Lake Eno, and our forest nursery, that you guys please take the necessary steps and review all before you guys sign off on things. Let's look at the environmental list and make sure that we're meeting the checklist and things like that. And Ms. Kuhn, I made a bad comment to you last time, so I just want to apologize for that. It's not, doesn't represent who I am. I'm just business. I really am just.
That's okay.
I
Thank
appreciate
you, though.
that. Yeah, no, I'm here on behalf of the trees. So I hope you hear what I'm saying, and I hope you can do something to help us out.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Carlos Martins, Jackson, New Jersey. I wasn't planning on coming up here, but so I can say this is any topic, right? So if I want to talk about,
it's open comment.
so if I want to talk about the special election coming in November,
Yeah,
I'm
you
allowed
can
to
talk
do
about
that.
whatever you want.
Okay. So like I said, I'm here as a resident. I do participate in the zoning board, but I'm here as a resident. Also, full disclosure, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. For the special election in November, I am on the side of Mr. Brassey, because I know Mr. Brassey now, met him and everything. So just full disclosure, I'm not in the bag for Mr. Brassey, but I'm on his side. So okay. So the other day, I'm sitting outside of Quick Check. I'm having my coffee, I'm having my breakfast, and I'm pondering the meaning of life, right? As one would do when they're having breakfast. I never got to an answer on what the meaning of life was. But what I realized is that, especially in politics, everybody wants to be a hero. Everybody wants to be a hero. They want to be the savior. The problem with that is, to be a hero, you need to invent a villain. And if a villain doesn't exist, then you invent them. And that's what happens in politics, right? If you have nothing good to say about yourself, then you just throw mud at the opponent. And that seems to be what's happening for the special election in November. It's disappointing, but that was my epiphany that I had while I was sitting outside of Quick Check, drinking my coffee, deep in thought. Another thing that I know a lot of people will are familiar with, that old saying that success in life is 80% just showing up. I think we've all heard that, right? My question is, what does that say about our mayor? Our mayor who never shows up. As I called him once before, our no-time mayor, because I can't even call him part-time, he's never here. It's a shame. And we heard comments today about collaborating. You can't collaborate with an empty chair. I do want to thank Mr. Phillips, though. I'm hearing a lot of great things from you as far as working, making yourself available. You're always here, as far as I can tell. So I thank you. I think that's an improvement. And I think that's it. Mr. Palmieri, one last thing. I suggest that at every meeting, we should have that picture of Mr. Palmieri eating the chicken wings. That's a great picture. We should show that at every meeting right at the beginning. Anyway, thank you for all your work.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. All right, that's all.
Seeing no one else come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
Motion.
Oh, is it a resident?
Val Tudor, Right to Bow Road. This is a response to the fact that you can't do anything regarding illegals because of, what is his name? Matthew Plotkin, whatever the AG's name is. Last time we met, I gave you the howl about making us a not sanctuary town. And I appreciate you doing that. So thank you for that. That was a pleasant surprise. I really didn't think you would. But you only did half of what I asked. And of course, you don't have to do what I say. The reason I requested that the landlords do a better job at vetting the people that they're going to be renting is you have no criteria at all. All you say is they have to check out who's going to be renting. And I made a joke that, oh, they're breathing, so that's okay. I mean, no criteria. I checked the form, there's no criteria. Okay, but I also made a copy of Donald Trump's rules. Now, I know he's the AG, but I think Donald Trump trumps the AG in New Jersey. So I'm going to read from you because I don't really like to voice my opinion. I prefer to read what's actually on the law. And if you want a copy of this, you can have this one. Okay, according to him, actual specific knowledge is not required. An example is given. A newspaper article stating that ballrooms depend on an illegal alien workforce of dance hostesses was held by the courts to be reasonable ground for suspicion that unlawful conduct has occurred. Okay, so they don't require specifics, but I've spoken to ICE twice. They actually want addresses because, of course, they need a warrant. But if we suspect something, and yes, they say just looking at someone saying, okay, they might be, I don't know, Chinese, Hispanic, whatever the heck, that doesn't warrant you saying, okay, they're an illegal alien. But they also give other criteria, that if the person is acting nervous or doesn't, no direct contact, they're trying to inch away for you or something like that, that's enough for them to get into that. They can actually check into that. So I'm hoping that you're not hiding behind the AG's rules. I mean, I was really thrilled that you did go with the sanctuary. I brought up facts last time. $7.3 billion we spent on illegal aliens in this state. They only put 1.6 in taxes. And I hate the spin of politicians that go, but they pay taxes. Yes, but you neglect to mention how much we spent on them. Another $6 billion. And this gentleman that just spoke, I had a lovely conversation with him last time I was here because he and I had a friendly disagreement. This gentleman comes from Portugal. He spent thousands and thousands of dollars and waited 2 years, I believe you said, to get into this country. We have 35 million people waiting to get into this country legally. And I know for a fact, because I've helped people study for the citizenship test, okay, people spend thousands and thousands of dollars, and they should be given the choice of coming into the country first. And in case you didn't know, the United States only likes to let in 1 million at a time. So some of those people will never get in. They may actually die first. And we're going to prioritize people that have broken the law. That's all I have to say. I was hoping you'd cooperate more. If you want this to read it for yourself, I just printed it out. I'm not coming up there because you berated me for doing it last time. You want this? I printed it out.
Officer, would you grab that? Thank you.
I printed out the Howell thing for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Council President, if I could just ask Mr. McGuckin, I'm just going to talk about myself for a second, but I think this is a governing body which is extreme supporters of President Trump. I still have my Trump sign in my car from last November, but we also live in New Jersey. And if, Mr. McGuckin, could you just elaborate when we have federal, obviously directives, but we have state directives, how that impacts our ability? We're going to follow the law here in New Jersey. So,
And let me start by saying everything our resident indicated is something I completely agree with her on. Unfortunately, as an attorney and as elected officials, you're required to follow the state constitution and the state law as well as federal. The state has determined that no police officer in the state of New Jersey shall enforce federal law with respect to immigration. That's a directive of the Attorney General. Again, he's unelected. It's not a law. We have actually asked in the legislature to force the legislature to adopt a law to repeal his directive. That has gone absolutely nowhere because the legislature is controlled by one party, the same party as the governor and the same party as the Attorney General. It's absolutely political. They refuse to change it. They don't want to vote on it, so they can avoid having to vote on it, so they let the Attorney General do it by directive. I would love to be able for the council and the mayor to tell the police officers they should do this. Unfortunately, you do not have that authority under the law, and if you did so, you would be violating the Attorney General directive, which would lead to the police officers being disciplined, charged, suspended, etc. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I know everybody on this council does. I believe almost everybody, if not everyone in this room, believes the same thing. But unfortunately, that is the law we have in New Jersey. That is the directive of the state's Attorney General. And by law, police officers are required to follow his directives.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no one else come forward, I make a motion to close public comment.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council President, can I just say one thing quickly before we make a motion to close? It was brought up earlier, and I just really want to take the moment and thank Mr. Phillips. Mr. Phillips works for the mayor, and this council has been working lockstep together as one council. We introduced multiple resolutions tonight that had the mayor's input into those resolutions. So contrary to what some residents allege, this council is working together with administration very well. I spoke to the mayor on the way to the council meeting. I spoke to the mayor this morning. And I'm not going to speak for when he comes and when he doesn't come. But I do want to thank the mayor and say with regard to the budget, contrary to some of the fake news being spread on social media by some bloggers, the council received the budget. Council President, do you have the date when the council received the budget?
I do. I could read it off the top of my head. So we received it. We went back and forth on January 27th. It went to us. We spoke with the mayor. We said that we wanted to make some changes. Then we lost our CFO and our BA. Our CFO was on the agenda on March 27th, 2025. She did not start until April 28th, 2025. We met with the auditor and the CFO and the interim CFO on May 2nd at 1:30, me and you.
And I just want to add one thing that the mayor, and it's anyone could Oprah, because it sounds like everyone loves Oprahing. You could Oprah, where the mayor wrote very clearly thanking Council President and myself for being the first council that he's worked with that has actually asked to review the budget. I'm only on council since December of 2023. This council worked on the budget together with administration, and we're proud of the budget. There are parts of the budget that I guess by the next meeting we'll introduce that I didn't agree with, but that's part of compromise, and I'm looking forward to the next meeting. It wasn't 8 months late. Thank you.
I just read you the timeline, sir. I'm sorry if you didn't hear me.
That's
If you'd
a
like me
lie
to
that
send
you're
it in you
sprouting
an
on
email.
social media to get likes.
It's a
I'm
lie.
sorry.
We did our due diligence. Just so you know, if we didn't meet, and I'm going to make a comment, just so you know, if we didn't meet with the auditor on May 2nd at 1:30, me and Councilman Bernstein, we found 1.4 million of funded money. And we said, whoa, what is going on here with this budget? Where is this money coming from? We pulled all the bond ordinances, which we passed. We reallocated all the money. We gave it to the senior citizens. We gave it to the police department. We gave it to DPW. We gave it to many people that needed it. And we are still reallocating it. We're putting it into our parks and recreations. So we did the right thing. We went through every single thing. I called every single council member. I went back just to make sure that this budget was accurate. I went over it, highlighted with an orange and a pink highlighter. You can go into the CFO's office and look at it yourself to make sure that every single line item was on there so that we were doing the right thing. And yes, I do have an email of the mayor saying, thank you. Wow, we've never had a council involved in the budget ever. And they didn't know the previous business administrator didn't know what to do. He was like, whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean? So the emails that you read last time, why don't you go a little earlier in your emails? Because you read them at the end. So you want to go up here and give your 2 seconds and do what you do? You do. You go ahead, sir. Good luck being on a council when you treat everybody like this. You're going and you're doing a parade. You're not coming. If you wanted to really be on council, you would have called every single one of us and said, hey, listen, we're looking to be on council. Will you meet with us and talk about what we can do? Thank you. That didn't happen.
Clerk?
Adjourn.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Any
you.
opposed? Motion approved.
Yes.
Yeah. How are you?